tank. He's good at setting traps. Has crazy power that he believes in. He has a great chin too because he's a guy. He'll let you get out punches, and he'll still be coming at you. And then once he catches you, it's a wrap.
All-time greats. Crawford's one of the best switch hitters, I think, since Marvin Hagler, and one of the most skillful boxers alive.
He has very good skills. He's one of my favorite boxers. He able to win this fight.
Errol Spence was genuinely taken aback after watching Terence Crawford's insane training footage for the upcoming Canelo fight. Having gone toe-to-toe with him before, Errol has always respected Crawford's fight IQ and elite skill set, but this new training clip pushed that respect even higher. The speed, accuracy, and razor-sharp footwork Crawford showed left Errol stunned. Terence moved like a machine in full attack mode, explosive, locked in, and downright frightening. This version of Crawford is a serious threat, one Canelo absolutely cannot afford to overlook. When Terence Crawford looked back on his showdown with Errol Spence, the respect between the two champions was obvious. Crawford, known for his patient, methodical approach, explained how he gradually breaks down his opponents before unleashing those punishing combinations that end fights. His strategy is simple but brutal: study, wear down, then destroy.
How hard does Spence hit?
He didn't hit that hard.
But he never caught you that clean. That was probably the best shot he landed.
No, he caught me a couple of times, but I was surprised at how hard he didn't hit.
Really?
Given that everybody say, oh, he's a big puncher, I think he's just a volume puncher. I think he just wears opponents down, just wear them down. I don't think he has a one punch knockout. He have power, but it's not like boom, sleep. Right. I think it's like bam, oh, boom, 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 boom. Then he just wear you down.
Right, yeah. That is a difference, right?
Because if you look at his career, you never seen him like knock nobody out with one punch. You never see him, dropping nobody with one punch. You always see him like wearing them down. That's why he goes so hard to the body, because he want to wear you down. Then once you get tired and once your body start weakening, everything started weakening, and those little punches that wasn't hurting started hurting.
Former world champion turned analyst Chris Algieri added a sharp angle to the Crawford-Canelo conversation. Algieri pointed out that Crawford has dominated nearly every opponent he's faced, keeping full control from start to finish. Canelo, on the other hand, has had moments where he was clearly outworked, what boxing experts call being bossed. The best example was his loss to Dimitri Bivol, where Bivol's size, jab, and discipline dictated the entire fight. Algieri's take supports the belief that Crawford, even while jumping up in weight, brings a style built on control, adaptability, and technical mastery, qualities that have historically given fighters like Canelo major problems.
And Terence Crawford, who do you think can be the boss that night? When you talk about these two guys, you talk about two guys, number one, you can't boss me around.
Yep.
Two guys, you can't even look at me a certain way without me feeling some type of way. These guys now have set their sights on one another. Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Obviously, we know the weight difference, but we've seen Crawford, looks like he's coming up slowly to that weight class and kind of acclimating himself in real time. How do you see that fight playing out?
We're still pretty far away from that fight, and I'm going to hold my complete analytics on that, but I'll tell you this.
Well, contrast and compare, maybe not a pick.
But I'll tell you this. I've seen Canelo pushed around. I've never seen Terence pushed around. So when you talk about who's going to be the boss, I've never seen anyone boss Terence Crawford. I've seen Canelo get bossed. So that and psychologically, when you think about that, and this is a fight where I flip-flop on both guys because there's so many good points. Yeah, but he's 168. Yeah, but it's Terence Crawford. He's undefeated. Well, yeah, no, this guy's beating this, but stylistic. Even he hits him on the arm. There's so many different things you can talk about. But from a psychological standpoint, who's fresher, who's meaner, who wants it more? That's going to come into play.
As a boxing fan, how much fun is it to see those two attitudes come together. It's kind of like the unstoppable force versus the immovable object getting ready to collide.
I've worked a lot of Canelo fights, and Canelo fight weeks are great. He plays to the crowd really well. His fans are awesome. I'm thinking about the Caleb Plant situation. I'm thinking about the Ridley's Joe Saunders situation. When he gets that in his head that he's got an extra chip, he becomes a really dangerous man.
Veteran commentator Max Kellerman gave a balanced breakdown, noting that while both fighters have their own strengths, Crawford seems to have the edge based on recent form. Kellerman highlighted Crawford's incredible timing, ability to switch stances, and his knockout power, all of which have peaked in the last few years. Canelo, though still world-class, has shown slight signs of slowing down, especially in his movement and overall aggression. Kellerman still acknowledged Canelo's natural size advantage, which could matter in close exchanges. But looking at the full toolbox, speed, accuracy, defense, and adaptability, he leaned toward Crawford as the sharper, more complete fighter right now.
Counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him. But in recent years at super middleweight, he's gotten really good at cutting off the ring. Again, last fight notwithstanding. So as an overall suite of skills, recent vintage, it's been Crawford. Okay. But Canelo also is skilled and has a larger skeleton than Crawford. No matter what they weigh, Canelo's the bigger guy.
Yeah. You briefly mentioned Canelo's power, so who I would assume Canelo has the
You'd have to think, unless Crawford, Crawford was on a knockout streak until he moved up to junior middleweight and then failed to stop Madrimov. So, and Canelo, though he has not stopped anyone in a while, we've seen he's a real puncher at 68.
As far as speed, who has a better speed?
You would imagine Crawford, given the fact that he is the naturally smaller fighter.
The dynamics of this mega matchup are truly intriguing. Crawford is stepping into new territory by bulking up in weight, which usually affects a fighter's speed and gas tank. Meanwhile, Canelo is the veteran at this size, but he's not the same relentless powerhouse he used to be. Recent fights show him struggling to score knockouts and leaning more toward controlled, steady pressure instead of the non-stop aggression of his earlier days. So even though Crawford faces a physical challenge, Canelo's slight decline in certain areas balances things out. If Crawford brings his A-game, sharp footwork, high fight IQ, and elite conditioning, he absolutely has a legitimate path to victory.
For Canelo, obviously at 168, he has been a bit of the smaller man at that weight class, and in the last couple of years has had trouble finishing opponents and getting guys out of there like he would have at 160 or 154. So you have a bit of a duality there. Both guys coming into this fight in the, let's say, twilight of their careers, or maybe twilight of their primes, however you want to look at it. Canelo is going to be, I think, 35. Terence is 38. So you have a similar situation, different paths, and different struggles for both fighters. But when you look at who has to do more in this fight, it's clearly Terence Crawford, as far as what he's giving up and sacrificing to win this third undisputed championship and to try to beat Canelo, who has only been beat twice in his career, one of which was Floyd Mayweather being slick and tagging Canelo with counter punches when Canelo missed, being the smaller, lighter fighter and up there in age that was still able to take advantage of the youth and experience of Canelo Alvarez, but also just being a defensive maestro and able to counter off of that. Floyd is one of one. And then you have Dimitri Bivol, who was the bigger fighter, and the things that Canelo does very well didn't really hurt him too bad, right? The things that had carried Canelo up in division was his power and the ability to break an opponent down, maybe not stopping them in the early to mid part of fight.
Rising young star Abdullah Mason didn't hold back his confidence in Crawford, even predicting a result that could shock a lot of fans. Mason stressed that people overlook Crawford's punching power, but he believes it's far more dangerous than most assume. While the popular story is that Canelo is the stronger man because of size, Mason flipped that narrative, saying Crawford's ability to create power through timing, angles, and pinpoint accuracy could be even more effective. If Crawford lands clean and consistently, especially deep into the fight, Mason believes that upset prediction could easily become reality.
I'll say Canelo Crawford, your prediction quickly.
Canelo Crawford. I got faith that Crawford could take it. I got faith in Crawford. I feel like Crawford, he might surprise some people with his strength. So it all depends on who's the better fighter that night.
Dimitri Bivol, the man who handed Canelo a recent defeat, also had nothing but praise for Terence Crawford. After seeing Crawford in person, Bivol said Terence has added size impressively and has all the tools necessary to win. And Bivol's opinion carries serious weight. He knows exactly what it takes to beat Canelo. He emphasized Crawford's discipline, speed, and intelligence as major factors. When a fighter of Bivol's caliber publicly backs you, it's a strong sign that this matchup is far more even than many expect.
Him in Dubai maybe a month ago, I saw him. He's big, and he has very good skills. He's one of my favorite boxers. He able to win this fight, but there is a lot of but. And even not but, there is a lot of things, small things, which we don't know how he will deal with this. He needs to get used to the power and pressure of 168 because it's big difference, to be honest. Maybe he will get used to it, and how he will be feeling himself on the same day when he will fighting, how his training camp will go on, a lot of things. But he's able, he has good skills, he's awkward, he can use two boxing stance. It gives him benefits, of course.
I was at that same event in Dubai just before Christmas, and I saw him too, and I thought exactly the same thing, which is that he is quite big.
Yeah.
Size obviously is important. Jamel Charlo stepped up from super welterweight to super middleweight to box Canelo, and it didn't work at all for him. But Crawford is, I mean, he's one of the best fighters in the world, isn't he? I mean, obviously
Keith Thurman brought a thoughtful perspective to the matchup. He mentioned that while casual fans might think the fight is a 50-50 affair, the deeper technical details tell a different story. Thurman referred to Canelo's recent fight with Jermall Charlo and pointed out how Canelo struggled whenever Charlo relied on movement and smart footwork. Even though Canelo was pushing forward, he couldn't cut the ring or land clean once Charlo started using his IQ. Thurman suggested that Crawford, who is even more strategic and unpredictable than Charlo, could give Canelo similar, if not greater, problems on fight night.
And, you know, we ain't getting punched in the face, so let's just watch the show and enjoy, people. You know what I'm saying? Let's just watch what these champions do. No matter what they do, they're both great. They're both going to continue to be great, but by the end of the day, one will be above the other.
Your eyes?
It's not like, I think a lot of people are going to lean towards Canelo. I don't want to say it's like, I feel like for the fans, it's coming off 50-50. Like it's hard for me to really commit, because this is what happened, right? When Canelo just fought the Charlo, right? When he just fought Charlo, he knocked Charlo down. But after he knocked Charlo down and Charlo was using ring movement, he never hit Charlo with another big shot, okay? This is what Keith Thurman is watching. I'm not saying like, oh, Canelo didn't do good. Like, Canelo dominated. That fight he dominated, right? But let's just pay attention to little details, right? After he got dropped, he never got hurt again. Why, you ask? Why did Canelo not hurt him again? Oh, because he was on his bike, because he was using lateral movement, because he was watching with his eyes, and because he was being, you know, attentive with his defense, and he was able to make Canelo miss but he was not able to make him pay.
And that wraps up today's breakdown. Make sure to stick around for the next update.